surely was a hell of a difference between after Shadowlands 9.0. Definitely a completely fresh start, or a little bit completely fresh type of revamp type of expansion, where things were a little bit more freshened up again, you know. And I thought, and regardless, now the times before, 10.2 will launch around 2 weeks. Around 2 weeks, yeah. And you may call it the storm before the calm before the storm, to keep the excitement to itself, to yourself, so without getting too much hopium, too much of this called hopium again, and not to get like disappointed when it get launched because you had so much hypes and so on, hopes. But regardless, again, in my experience, or to my like how I feel as well. I mean, it's like again, since the end of Shadowlands after 9.0, my World of Warcraft kind of you could say hype, my interest have been dwelling a bit downwards, And since like all the patches, the 10.0, 10 point, and the fill up and the minor patch between 10.0 and 10.1, and of the other like next minor patch between 10.1 and 10.2, it's really feels like a little bit. Yeah, it has some temptation, it has some sort of hype and interest to jump in time to time, but it's not the same thing as it was back in the days with like even like Wrath of the Lich King, the Burning Crusade, even with times like Legion, or the the first patches of BFA, and maybe the first patches of World of Draenor, and otherwise it feels like a little bit like if World of Warcraft would have been now a say anime series, right? And DragonFlight would have been now the so-called the current season, yeah, the current arc. It definitely would have felt like I would say a filler arc, because it feels like mm, nothing's happening really. I mean, there is something happening, it isn't there, but it feels like not the same quality with with the with let's say with BFA first patch cycle, Legion first couple of patch cycles, or Warlords of Draenor. Basically, there was always this tension with something is happening. And not just it's happening, but also a little bit more connected to the so-called WoW lore, the WoW plot, story, campaign, and so on and on. And and something like let's say Warcraft Shadowlands 9.0 would be like watching a Hunter x Hunter, was all great to do, and then you have here this called cliffhanger, and the whole thing is like cut out, and there's nothing. This would be like if World of Warcraft would be like an anime series, and this would be like a so called the cliffhanger followed with a thriller arc, so that has enough time for the the manga chapters, or for the story of World of Warcraft to be you know to be caught up, to be revamped, to be rebooted, something like this, and to be readapted, and so on. And you know, even though it has come to my attention, like lots of other speculators and talks about, they got if Dragonflight 10.0 with 10.0, with 10.2 would be the last patch of the Dragonflight expansion and so on. You never know, but it would maybe make sense, maybe 50% of a chance, or like a reasonable thing, but you never know until you get the proof, or that you hopefully will get to see in the BlizzCon 2023. That's just around the corner in next in about 2 weeks now. And yeah, besides that, the Warcraft has always what I always been like kind of not just me probably, but some a lot of others. But Warcraft always has this so-called the trend of great content, and then when the new content gets released, the previous content gets neglected a bit by bit. Then when another new patch comes out, no update, that this very first content gets completely like even less neglected, and then so on until the very first content that was released with with the expansion, let's say with the Dragonflight expansion with 10.0, the content that was there with with the whatever you may call and then you have the the Forbidden Reach content in between before 10.1. This is like also like a little bit has been neglected. Uh, and also like content like where you have Silverrock, uh, Carbon in 10.1. There's like really literally not too many out there. Most of them are basically like farming around there. The no 10.1.7 now Dream Surges and so on. But and again, Dream Surge, the patch with 10.1.7 Dream Surges now. It's also definitely a little bit that's definitely underwhelmed just to be a minor patch. Forbidden Reach was compared to Forbidden Reach in 10.07. 10.707 was vastly more kind of more let's say more you could say more compactful, more interesting because it seemed to be more interesting because of the small features you had on that island. You had to find out bit of the evokers or drag fear past law to catch up. Then you had with these vaults you could do like secret lore behind there and there, a couple of stages and there, every week different type of vault keys and so on. This was I really like but and also you had this this elite mobs where to spawn we could catch up your uh gear, catch up with your main and your out and if you're out, and this was vastly a lot more exciting than what it was then what it is with 10.07 10.107, sorry. And yeah, as I said, it's like the so-called long drawing tensioning type of no, I call it the hype of I used to call it the hype. You have this sort of balloon and a lot of air is coming inside the balloon, gets expanded so it keeps up in the air floating. And eventually if there's too much hype, too much air coming inside the balloon can, the balloon can only hold so much as it can, or depending on the balloon, and eventually it will burst. It will burst by just too much air, too much hype, or just it will just crash into something edgy, and it will just pop up, burst, and this is like what I always had with World of Warcraft as well, of the hype, you know, back in Shadowlands, how it a huge drought content between 10.0, 10.1, 10.2, and then that's it. The whole expansion's over, and then you have this 8-9 month content drought in between, and this was like exactly this sort of the scenarios that the hype was building up, and the end you're getting up this sort of type of disappointed hype, and the balloon just bursts further, and then you just didn't have this much more fun because of the hype that was supposed to be in those 8, 9 thought content that get patched eventually. And with DragonFlight, it's like you even though there's no 8, 9 months thread content, there's still this a little bit so called the 8, 9 months of minor patches that fixes a little bit of the thread content. But at the same time, these contents that are in the minor patches, let's say within the DragonFlight, are it's the same. Feels like not as impressive. I mean, not entirely not impressive. Like I do like the design. I did like the Forbidden Reach. The time walking rifts were not too bad. And then now you have the team surges. It feels like a little bit small for underwhelming compelling, which is fine maybe, but it's not so as a keeper or as like and it may of course not change of how it will be represented or presented in BlizzCon. All I want to say this is if this would have been now a World of Warcraft as an anime, and this expansion Dragonflight would be certainly not consider, might have to say it would be a possible to be a filler expansion because of how this is all underwhelming, all this. Yes, definitely like a lore build up, but you never know if the current Dragonflight lore will build up, will be related afterwards, what's going to come after 10.2 and so on. You never know, and yeah, I mean, if you have like, if you're watching like animes that have been great, like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, but you have all these things that make the enemies so quite underwhelming again because of the fill arcs, and lots of repetitive fill arcs over and long, not just repetitive but long episodes of fill arcs, filler episodes. I mean, this just has made what drove those animes a little bit downwards. It was nice again when the real plot, the real manga caught up with the anime, or the anime caught with the manga, and then the whole anime went up a notch level again, where it was left off, and then it was great again. That I hopefully, this hopefully will the same with World of Warcraft, within Dragonflight or after Dragonflight, and yeah. That's for now, and I think I don't have much more to say for now because there's not much more to speculate for this moment. But this was all my opinion I could master for now, and that's where I'm gonna conclude for for this video discussion about World of Warcraft state with Dragonflight. And as always, I'll be thinking to my game talk steers by a little bit shorter versions. Otherwise, as I see, it's a happy have a great chilled weekend. Take care and see you another time. Cheers.
Launch detected.